Hi team, welcome to your first lockdown lesson. I've decided to do it this way just because I think it's more like a normal lesson and hopefully I can actually teach you something or kind of remind you of something before you actually do some work. This particular lesson, and we'll do 3 like this obviously today, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, will all be kind of recall or recap of stuff we've done this half term. So it's not going to be any particularly new content, but it's stuff that especially we found more difficult on the exams that we just did. Before I get started, I hope you're all well. If you need anything, please let me know. Just comment on Teams or email me. Obviously, I know it's a bit of a weird time, and the more work you do now, the better. Please try and stay on top of stuff, but then obviously we've got the break coming up. I'll be really specific about what homework you've got later on this week, and all that kind of stuff. But in the meantime, keeping up with the lessons, kind of keeping yourself ticking over is the best thing to do. I realise it's quite a strange situation. So if you do need anything, as I say, please do let me know. We're going to start by having a look at expanding brackets, expanding triple brackets. There's a specifically new thing I want to show you. I'm going to start with a quick recap of how we do this. So, a question might say expand this expression. We've got 2 brackets, 2x plus 2, 4x minus 3. Very easily, the first thing we're going to draw is our multiplication grid. Along the top I'm going to have 2x plus 2, and I've got 4x minus 3. And I'm just filling in my boxes. We know this is multiplication. I can even put a multiplication sign there if I want to. 4x times by 2x, 8x squared. Don't fall into the trap of adding those two. 4x times by 2 gives me 8x. Negative 3 times by 2x gives me negative 6x. Negative 3 times by 2 gives me negative 6. Now, quite often we'll realise actually it's going to be these ones that simplify. So if I want to write my answer, which I will do here, I'm going to have 8x squared plus 8x minus 6x gives me plus 2x, and this is then take away 6. And that's my answer, easy as that. I'm going to go through one more kind of expanding brackets question. That's just a very quick recap, then you're going to try a few questions for me. So my next one, which I'll put on the board once I just clean this off, is this. Now this time I've got 3 brackets here. The moment I see 3 brackets, I'm going to have to do this twice. Same process, I'm going to go through it twice. Again, because I'm doing the same process, I'm just going to do it twice. I'm going to start by these first 2 brackets, and I'm going to draw my multiplication grid. I'm going to have 5x minus 1 and 4x plus 6. Okay? Then fill that grid in. 4x times by 5x is 20x squared. 4x times by negative 1, negative 4x. 6 times by 5x is positive 30x. 6 times by negative 1 is negative 6. Again, it's these 2 that are going to simplify. I'm going to write my answers just down here because then I'm going to set up my second multiplication grid. But I've got 20x squared. Negative 4x plus 30x will be positive 26x. Take away 6. Okay? Perfect. Now my second multiplication grid. What I've really got here is 20x squared plus 26x minus 6, which is those first 2 brackets, then multiplied by x minus 1. Okay? This and this are exactly the same. So I need to set up a second multiplication grid for this. This one's going to have 3 in it because I've got a quadratic. I'm going to have 20x squared. Okay? I'm going to have 26x, and I'm going to have negative 6. And here I've got x and take away 1. Again, the same process. I've got 6 boxes. It'll take me slightly longer, but it's still going to pick up those marks. X times 20x is 20x cubed. X times by 26x, 26x squared. X times by negative 6 is negative 6x. Negative 1 times by 20x is negative 20x squared. Negative 1 times by 26, negative 26x. Negative 1 times by negative 6, positive 6. Be careful of those negatives. Now, this is the bit where we sometimes are losing marks. I then need to collect any like terms. 20x cubed is going to be on its own. It's the only x cubed in my grid. Then I need to look at my x squared. So I've got plus 26x squared minus 20x. So I'm going to have 6x squared. Negative 6x minus 26x is going to be negative 32x, because they're both negative, and then I've got positive 6. Again, my pattern is like this, of those that will simplify. Okay, but that is my final answer. Sorted. If I've got triple brackets, I'm going to expand it twice. Okay, I'm going to do my grid method twice. I'm going to put a few questions on the board now. I'd like you to have a go at. Just pause it and then I'll put the answers on in a second. So your questions are on the board now. Let me just clean this off and then you can pause it, have a go, and I'll put the answers on the board in a second. So those are our answers. Hopefully we've got all of those correct. If we haven't, we're going to have to retry them until we're happy with that before I move on to the next bit. Now, the thing that I want to have a look at, and this is the bit that's new, okay? This is the bit that's new. What I'm going to do at this point, I really want to be clear, because what we've seen in previous in questions, and one thing that's confused us is when we've got this. We're told that an expression could be ax squared plus bx plus c, and we start getting really confused because we've got these a's, b's, c's in there. That's quite a normal response. This is new stuff, but all this is doing is saying that I can write this in a form where I've got x squared, x, and a number. A, b, and c are all integers. So if they're all integers, they're all just numbers. If we see a question like this, it's asking us to do the same thing as expanding. That's all it's asking me to do. If I've got two brackets like this and I'm saying I can write them in this form, all I need to do is write it and expand it so I can find out what those numbers are. So again, I'm going to have my grid. 2x plus 2, 4x minus 3. 4x times by 2x, 8x squared. 4x times by 2, 8x. Negative 3 times by 2x is negative 6x. Negative 3 times by 2, negative 6. These ones will cancel, or will kind of simplify, sorry, and I've got 8x squared plus 2x minus 6. Okay? Now, I'm asked to write this in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. All this is telling me is that this is a, this is b, and that this is c. So if I'm asked to, if I wanted to, I could say that a equals 8, b equals 2, and c equals negative 6. It's as simple as that, okay? All I needed to do here was expand this, and I'm going to get it in this form, and I can find those integers a, b, and c. We're going to look at two more examples before you try some yourself, okay? Two more examples before you try some yourself. The first example, and this is going to start using our triple brackets, the first example looks like this, okay? I've got 3 brackets here, and I'm saying it can be written in this form: ax cubed plus bx plus cx plus d. Okay, the same thing. If you've got something else like this says write this in this form, but you've got 3 brackets like that, the first thing I want you to think every single time is I'm going to expand those brackets. If we expand those brackets, we're going to get somewhere. Okay. So if I expand those brackets, I'm going to be able to find out what a, b, c, and d are, because this is the format it will be when I expand all of those 3 brackets. Okay, so where a, b, c, and d are integers. Let's have a look. Same process as normal. Okay, I'm going to have x plus 2. Oh, sorry. First thing first, I always need to draw my grid. That's my mistake. So I'm going to draw my grid. X plus 2, 3x minus 1. Again, I expand. 3x times by x is 3x squared. 3x times by 2, 6x. Negative 1 times by x is negative x. Negative 1 times by 2 is negative 2. These are going to simplify, and I can get the answer 3x squared plus 5x, because negative x and 6x, minus 2. I'm not quite finished because I've got 3 brackets, so I need to do this multiplication, and this is by this last bracket. This time it's a 3-part grid, and I've got this, which is 3x squared plus 5x minus 2, and I've got x plus 1. Same thing again, every single box. X times by 3x squared, 3x cubed. X times by 5x, 5x squared. X times by negative 2, negative 2x. 1 times by 3x, 3x squared. 1 times by 5x, 5x. 1 times by negative 2, negative 2. And again, my pattern, these are going to be the ones that simplify. So my answer, 3x cubed, 5x plus 3x is 8x squared, 5x minus 2x is plus 3x, and then minus 2 is my final answer. Okay. Now this is clearly in the form ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d, where each of these coefficients matches up. Okay. Any question like this, that's all it's asking us to do. Expand it, find the answer. One more I need to show you just before you start work. This one I won't go through fully, but I'm just going to show you the first step. Okay, I'm just going to show you the first step because this is where we get a format which is answered slightly differently. Okay, now this is normally where I cold call on someone and ask someone a question, but obviously I can't do that this time, so let's all imagine I've picked on Sam and I've asked him, right, what's 3x plus 2 all squared mean? And Sam obviously will tell me that this expression is the same as 3x plus 2 times by 3x plus 2 times by 2x plus 1. Occasionally they'll ask you one where you've got this power in there. They're just trying to trick you. It's not hard, just remember that squared means multiplied by itself. Once I've got the 3 brackets, same process. I'm going to times these 2 together, and then once I've got my answer, I'm going to times it by this. Okay? That's all we need to remember. Sometimes we're going to be given this squared, and we're going to know that it will expand out just to this. Once I've got to this point, sorted, I can then start it. Okay? 2 grids, 2 multiplications out, easy answer. I'm going to put 5 questions on the board for you. Please pause it and have a go at all 5. The last question I'll say is really tough. Okay, the last question there is a bit of a challenge. If you get it, well done. If you don't worry too much. I'm hoping that you might see a pattern if you did look at the answer. I'm going to rub this off and put the questions on the board. I want you to have a look at the questions. Obviously pause it while you're working on them, because that way I can then just show the video, show the answers afterwards. So your questions, have a go at, are these. So pause the video now, please. Have a go at these 5 questions on me out of the way. Have a go at these 5 questions and I'll put the answers on the board in a second. And those are your answers. K equals 3 there. You should have hopefully noticed that the last number in that pattern, is where the number is cubed. Okay, so that's how to do that one. If we've not quite got that one there, have a look back and see if you can understand why it would be 3. We can then go through that in future. Any questions, obviously drop me an email or message me on Teams. I'm also going to post a grid of expanding quadratics or expanding triple brackets I'd like you to try. And I'll be posting this PowerPoint for you as well. Okay, so good luck. Any issues, let me know. Thank you and goodbye.